Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Token back with week 4 of the IBLs. Today we are going up against the Portland Tirtougas and their coach, Venom Star. I'm pretty sure that's his name. Sorry if I butchered that. Or Venom Star. Sorry. His team should pop up on the screen now, hopefully. But that's his entire team. But the team he decided to bring into this game is going to be Roserade, Probo Pass, Hariyama, Florges, Electivire, and Dragonite, as we decide to bring our Crobat, Sylveon, Garchomp, Heatran, Hilo-Whisk, and Miltank. As you can see, this video is post-com and is not a live com of the game. The reason due to that is because of this game being tardy. We are late. It's Monday. These games go up on Sunday, as you guys probably have realized now with the routine that we have had ingrained so far. However, though, we were both decently busy, but we did schedule the game. We just scheduled it for later in the week, and then it came to later in the week, and things just popped up, and we weren't able to get the game done. And then we're like, all right, Saturday morning, so we could still get our uploads up on Sunday. I'm at Sunday morning, so we could still get our uploads up on Sunday. And he slept through his alarms, which is perfectly fine, because it's just like we're already really late and rushing, so we're just doing it now, and then we'll get it up on Monday. Sorry that's a little bit late, but I hope you guys still enjoy the battle, and at least it was done. So anyways, the team that we're bringing is the sets that we're bringing on these Pokemon is going to be a Choice Banded Crobat with enough speed to outspeed. He didn't bring the Espeon, and he didn't bring his other super fast Pokemon. What was the other one? There's something. Oh, Zygarde. Yeah, this is going to be a Choice Banded Crobat with enough speed to outspeed the Espeon, not the Zygarde 10%. I didn't feel like that'd be brought, and even if it was brought, I didn't feel like I needed to be able to outspeed that, because I felt like I had a pretty good every time switch in Miltank into that thing, as long as I kept Miltank at a decent amount of health. Then it's going to be a little bit offensive, like 108 investment in special attack Sylveon, just so that I can actually still so that I can still possibly, depending on its investment, possibly still 2-hit KO Roserade with Psyshock if it thinks it's a switching into my Sylveon. So I wanted some decent offensive pressure on this Pokemon, but I still wanted to be pretty specially defensive, and Sylveon is definitely that. With just standard, pretty much just Hyper Voice, Psyshock, Wish, and Protect. Then we got Garchomp, who is rocking out with Earthquake, Rock Slide. What is that last move? Earthquake, Rock Slide, Dragon Claw, and Stealth Rocks, and it's also rocking out enough speed to outspeed, I think, the Roserade. I think the Roserade's the next after those two, and it can outspeed Espeon or the Zygarde. So yeah, enough speed to outspeed Roserade, and then the rest just dumped an attack and a little bit invested into bulk to possibly live some hits. Then we got a pretty bulky but still offensive, mainly offensive Heatran. It's fully modest. With 252 EVs and special attack. Really standard set, 252 EVs, special attack, 252 on HP, and I don't remember where I dumped before. But its moveset is going to be Lava Plume, Flash Cannon, Toxic, and Hidden Power Ice. Hidden Power, oh, and it is holding a Shuka Berry, the Garchomp's holding a Yachi Berry, Sylveon's holding Leftovers, and like I said, Crobat's Choice Banded. The reason Garchomp has the Yachi is in case I can't remember what I wanted to live a Hidden Power Ice from. There was something I was afraid of. Oh, living Nidoking's Ice Beam. I was actually really Nidoking actually was the most scary thing to me, other than Z move, Dragon Dance, Dragonite. Nidoking was the next most scary thing on my opponent's team to me, and as you can see, they didn't bring it, so hallelujah. But Nidoking was the second most scary thing, and I wanted to live a Ice Beam and be able to OHKO back with a Earthquake. So that's why we're Yachi. Then Heatran Shuka, so I can live an Earthquake possibly from Dragonite, and then OHKO back with Hidden Power Ice, or KO back. I think he does need his Multi-Scale to be broken for me to be able to get the knockout with Hidden Power Ice. So obviously he would need some chip damage for Multi-Scale to be broken. But yeah, then Lava Plume, just to spam Lava Plume, doesn't have the best Lava Plume switch-ins, as the things you'd probably want to switch in on Lava Plume are physical attackers, and we do have that high 30% chance to burn with Lava Plume. So thought Heatran had a pretty good matchup, and then just Toxic for some type of wall. If he brought Jellicent, which he didn't bring, but if he brought Jellicent, then Toxic was pretty much just for the Jellicent. And then Flash Cannon, obviously, for like Florges and the Probo Pass. Then we have Heliolisk, and Heliolisk is just, I wanted a faster threat that also had hidden power ice as well. It's Garchomp's, well no, not Garchomp, Heatran's decently fast, but I wanted hidden power ice on something a little bit faster, and his only ground type being Zygarde 10%. It's really not a switch into almost anything. It's pretty frail. It's really offensive, but it's also pretty frail. So it's not going to be taking too many hits of anything. So I thought even if he brought it, he might be hesitant to switch it in on Heliolisk, especially with the threat of hidden power ice. And then if he didn't bring it, then I could just Volt Switch all over his team's face with Heliolisk. So Heliolisk is just Life Orbed with Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, hidden power ice, and Glare, because if the Zydog wanted to, or Zygarde 10%, if I wanted to switch it on my Heliolisk, I could go for Glare, and then I would paralyze that thing, and that pretty much nukes it as a threat, considering that a lot of my other Pokemon outspeed it and kind of OHKO it at that point. So I like the idea of Glare on it, and just Thunder Wave in general, just to calm down some things that might be a little bit troublesome that are a little faster, such as also if Dragonite wanted to switch in, considering it resists electric type moves. If I get a Glare off on Dragonite, then its Dragon Dance has become a lot less threatening, because Garchomp will still outspeed after 1, and OHKO with Dragon Claw. So not bad at all there. And then last but not least, definitely not least, is Whitney the Miltank. And Miltank this week is running Thick Fat for the, what was I afraid of that I had for, oh, for the Nidoking Ice Beam spamming. I was really afraid of Ice Beam spam, so thought Thick Fat sounded good in that regard. And I swear there was some like somewhat threatening fire type, but I guess not on his team. I can't think of it right now. But Thick Fat definitely, I thought it was a solid brain. And then Miltank's just going to be kind of our defensive wall to just tank out hits. I was afraid of like a super powered Dragonite or a just all-out pummeling punch Dragonite. So I did run Chople Bear instead of like Rocky Helmet, because that did seem a little scary to me. And then obviously there was a chance that Hariyama would be brought. I didn't think he'd be brought because I thought that my opponent would think that Crobat and Sylveon and maybe some other things were a little too threatening, but he did decide to bring the Hariyama, so Chople Berry there as well for Hariyama's close combat, so we can live a hit if we needed to, and then just, I guess, fire back with something. But we're running Rock Slide and Ice Beam, Ice Punch. I want the Ice Punch just so that Dragonite couldn't just set up all over Miltank's face, because otherwise it pretty much can without Ice Punch, so I didn't want that to happen. And then Rock Slide, oh, there we go, Volcarona, that's what the Thick Fat was for. Volcarona was pretty threatening as well, and it's crazy that he also didn't bring Volcarona or Nidoking. But Volcarona was also pretty scary as a sweeper in this game, so Thick Fat for that. And then I could live a hit with Miltank and then get off a very powerful Rock Slide. I need a little bit of chip on Volcarona before it could OHKO, well, before it could KO, but Thick Fat so that we can live a hit from Volcarona and then go for Rock Slide. So Rock Slide, Ice Punch, Milk Drink, and Toxic, I'm pretty sure is the last move on Miltank. But yeah, that's pretty much it. The replay is going to go pretty fast, so I'll try to explain as best to my abilities, but it's kind of going to move really fast. And I tried to record the replay and then use like Media Player, but for some reason OBS for me doesn't record Media Player, it just gives me a black screen. So I'm just going to try my best with this. Let's see how it goes. We're going to just hop right into the game now. But yeah, that is the team that Venom Star decided to bring. He did bring the Roserade, the Probopass, the Hariyama, the Florges, the Electivire, and the Dragonite. So Dragonite at least came, which was the scariest threat to my team, considering that it is Z move and it does get Dragon Dance, so that's pretty scary. At least it's not a Moxie Sweeper. However, I did predict that my opponent would lead with Probopass when just to prioritize getting their rocks up. However, I forgot this thing was a rock type, and I forgot that rock resists fire. So that's not going to do that much damage at all. And I also forgot to mention that we had to reenact the game. I had a power surge on my end that happened in the middle, closer to the latter end of the game, not like the end, but closer to the end. And that forced us in a position where we had to reenact. I initially got a burn on that play. Didn't really matter. He only ended up going for Volt Switch with the Probopass before it ended up dying. So not a huge deal. But just so you guys know, this is a reenactment. So if you see a turn that seems really weird, I will try my best to explain it. And because it is a reenactment. But yeah, we actually got this wrong pretty early on. I actually switched into Garchomp on the Hariyama as he switched out his Hariyama as he switched out his Probopass into Hariyama, because I was assuming that he'd go for Volt Switch or Earthquake with his Probopass. I have Shucka on Heatran, don't want my Shucka broken, and Volt Switch, I can just eat that up with Garchomp and they get a powerful EQ off on a team that has no EQ immunity other than Dragonite, who I outspeed in Oko. So I felt like that was a perfect opportunity to get in Garchomp, but he also switched out into Hariyama. So good on his end, but I went into Sylveon, and I went for the Side Shock, kind of trying to predict the Rose Raid coming in. However, it didn't come in. Here, I just go for Protect, wondering why he thought this was switching into my Sylveon, and there he shows that he does have the Iron Tail. I'm not a big fan of him running that. I thought he has solid options in like a special attacking Probopass and Rose Raid and in Nidoking if he would have brought it, and even Volcarona doesn't take much damage considering how much its special defense stat is to deal with Sylveon. He had solid answers for Sylveon, but he decided to bring Iron Tail Electivire, and I'm not really sure why, but I was able to scout for it, and I get out of there. I switch back into Garchomp as he switches back into Hariyama again, so Hariyama coming in on Garchomp again. I just don't want to take a close combat. I don't want to take the combination of a Fake Out and then close combat. So I'm just not going to allow that to happen. Garchomp's pretty important in this game. So I go back into Sylveon again, and I kind of forgot that he was Guts and had the Flame Orb, so his Fake Out's going to be doing heaps of damage, way more than I was initially calculating. So I realized I need to Protect here and scout. Is he just going to go for Bullet Punch here? And he in fact does try to go for Bullet Punch, as I went for Protect to kind of scout that out, as well as get a little bit more leftovers recovery, of course, as well. And now I'm starting to realize I don't really have a switch into this. He'll Whisk and Miltank get obliterated by close combat. Same with Heatran. I actually put a decent amount of fighting weak Pokemon, and I really didn't expect to see Hariyama, so you can kind of see that it was pretty smart on his end to bring the Hariyama, because I have a lot of fighting weak Pokemon. And then Crobat I could switch in, but because of rocks, that's not a switch in either. So I went into Heatran. I'm not sure if he thought he wouldn't have killed. Maybe he was calculating a defensive Sylveon set and thought he wouldn't have killed after I got that leftovers recovery from Bullet Punch, which is why he switched out of his Hariyama. However, he ends up switching back into his Electivire, and I am able to get that Lava Plume kill as he switched into Probopass as I went into Heatran and then switched into Electivire, and I was able to get that kill. Here we made a mistake. He went into Dragonite there when Dragonite actually switched in on a Lava Plume. It didn't just come in freely. So we have to fix that. The way we decided to fix that was I would go into Sylveon and then I'd immediately just go back into Heatran to kind of try to fix that, because he got a Fake Out and then a knockoff off on my Heatran. I think kind of predicting that Sylveon or something would come back in. I'm not really sure, but yeah, he ends up going for that. So Fake Out into the Heatran and then the knockoff. But I stay in when he goes for knockoff, knowing that I don't really have a switch in Hariyama, and I kind of just need to start putting like lots of offensive pressure on my opponent's team to kind of just try to clean up as early as I possibly can. And sorry that I don't have the X's for the Pokemon right now, but I just can't really keep up with that and also commentate the game because it's just moving a little too fast, too swiftly for me, my liking. So yes, I do get the Lava Plume off. He is going to live. He had more health the first time that we did this. However, though, he is still alive, so it's kind of all that matters. And from here, obviously, Heatran outspeeds. I could go for another Lava Plume, but this is where he is going to switch into Dragonite on my Lava Plume. And it didn't burn the initial time, so we were both praying that it didn't burn again. And it didn't burn again, so we don't have to restart this entire thing, because we definitely would have had to if that would have burned. And here, I had more health than I initially had. He was able to take me out with 1 extreme speed last time, and this time he wasn't able to. So here, we decided that my most passive move I could go for so that he would still be alive, and a decent amount of health was Toxic. So I did decide, so I do go for the Toxic, and he's just gonna go for another extreme speed and take me out. So we can try to reenact it as close as possible. We honestly had a little bit of trouble reenacting it because there was just so many plays that happened, and neither of us were doing a live comp. I'm pretty sure neither of us were. So it caused a little bit of issues, but we got it pretty much as close as we possibly could have with the knowledge that we had to our disposal. Here though, this is why the Toxic doesn't really matter, even though he should have killed me with that first E-Speed, and his Dragonite shouldn't have been Toxic. The reason it doesn't really matter is because he ends up making a pretty ballsy play and staying in on my Garchomp with his Dragonite, as he probably thought that I would heavily like the play of switching into Florges and being immune to the Dragon Claw was extremely obvious. Extremely obvious. So he probably thought that I'd definitely be predicting that play and try to go for Toxic or Rocks there and thinking he could go for some Dragon type move and OHKO my Garchomp. Turns out he was going for Outrage there. However though, I didn't want a chance at all that I lost Garchomp at this point because I just continued to see how valuable Garchomp could be in this game. So I just went for the safe play in Dragon Claw and it actually worked out. So very excited for that. However, he makes a really good play and he Calm Minds on my switch out into Miltank on this Florges, which I really didn't have a switch in into. So I probably should have had a better answer to Florges. But yeah, I didn't really have a switch in into Florges. And I unfortunately missed that first Thunder Wave, and I didn't miss that last time, so that's why he just Synthesis, even though he was at full health, was because I didn't miss the Thunder Wave initially. So he Synthesis so I could get that little bit of chip damage with my Rock Slide because I was very afraid of him being a maybe fully physically defensive Florges, and my Choice Band and Brave Bat from Crobat not taking him out, so I really wanted that chip, but then I missed Rock Slide, and I thought for the longest we were going to have to redo the entire freaking game, because if this Brave Bird didn't kill Florges, then that meant that I definitely needed that chip damage. If he was fully physical, there was still a chance it didn't kill. However, though, he's definitely not going to be fully physical. Probably was using this as a backup switch-in into Sylveon, other than his Electivire, which shouldn't have been a switch-in in the first place, but probably a backup switch-in, so definitely probably more specially defensive. So makes sense that he wasn't able to live that hit, but just a little frustrating that I missed the Thunder Wave and I missed the Rock Slide, which just kind of made things just a little tricky for us there for a sec. However, though, he prioritizes going into Hariyama. I know that Hariyama is now at a health where I can just, and this is now, it's no longer being reenacted, it's just us playing, and I know that I can just, after the Brave Bird play was when it was just us playing and no longer was being reenacted, but yeah, I knew I could just switch into Garchomp and Hariyama would kill itself due to my rough skin damage, rough skin damage, so Garchomp takes out Hariyama as well, and then it lives a Dazzling Gleam from Roserade on 2%. There we go, Rampage, aka Garchomp, there we go. Living that Dazzling Gleam like a boss. Then it knocks out the Roserade, and it is going to clean up because now that all there is left is going to be this Probopass, and that is also going to die to an EQ. So now I will just try to exit out the Pokemon so you can get a general glimpse of what had been taken down and what's still alive. Let's go to 4. I think that's all I lost. But yeah, it's going to be a 4-0 in our favor against Venom. Once again, man, I'm so sorry that I had that Power Surge. That was so crap. And it's unfortunate that that's the fourth time while I've been recording or doing something for YouTube, creating some form of content, that I've had a Power Surge in the middle of doing it. So it's really frustrating. Just the electrical company that has a monopoly on electricity in the city, it's just really crappy in this area. I don't really know what to do about it. It's just completely out of my hands. But I'm glad that Venom was so cooperative and very understanding in us just reenacting this game and doing the plays and just trying to get back to a point where we were just playing the game like we were beforehand. So he was really cool about it. Shouts out to you, man. You're really cool for that. We even did a little Discord call so we can make sure that we understood what was going on, and we both knew the plays that were happening and everything. Got a little bit of mix-ups at some points, but I feel like we got it correct for the most part. And that's another solid win for us, guys. So now we're on a 3-game winning streak after losing week 1. We went from 0-1 to now being 3-1 after 4 weeks. So I'm excited to continue to try to work our way up, especially because Noivern, who we lost to in week 1, continues to win games. He's currently still 4-0. And I think there's one other coach who's 4-0 as well, but he's in the other conference, so that's not too big of a deal. But we still want to hopefully see both of them with the loss so that they can kind of tie us in records and we can maybe have the top seed heading into the playoffs and everything. However, though, all we're focused on is winning every game that's presented in front of us. Once again, guys, I'm sorry about this being post-com, and I'm sorry about just the circumstances and everything and it being late and all that. But this has not been my week. But we're going to bounce back heavily next week. Hopefully we can get another win next week. I appreciate your guys' support as always. Here's your gift of a shorter video for once other than my very long live comms. Hope you guys enjoy. And I'll see you guys in the next IBL video. For now, though, peace out.